name a color, I said, I'm not going to name the color unless it's right in front of me. I want it right in front of me. I want to be able to look at it. I want to be able to turn it in the sun and say, what is the ideal name for that color? Like Brandywine. You know, I mean, was that a right name for that color or what? It had that bluish tone to it, which is very rare for a pigment to have a blue tone. If you add one drop of blue to red, it muddies it. So it has to be the nature of the pigment. We've got 3 reds in the line now that have a natural blue flare to them, you know, the Cosmos red, the blue blood red. Why did I call it blue blood red? And it's an organic pigment, which means man-made. Whenever you hear organic, it means man-made, and it generally means triple the price of a ground-bearing pigment. And there are some beautiful earthbound pigments, you know, I mean, let's face it, the Egyptians back in their day would squash certain types of bugs to get certain colored pigments, you know, and do things that they did. So lots of colorants come from different things, fruits and vegetables, and you know, of course, Mother Earth. Everybody asks me about the beetle. You know, the Egyptians thought that the beetle had everlasting life because they'd watch it burrow down in the sand, and the next day it would come up in the middle of the day and live another life. Well, what they didn't understand was it went down there, laid an egg, and died, and there was another beetle, and they're full size when they surfaced. They thought it was the same beetle. And so I thought, everlasting life. This is a perfect logo for my products. And the Egyptians also thought of it as Ra, the sun god. And I thought, well, if it's a derivative of Ra, the sun god, that's a perfect logo for me, because Ra, the sun god, to show off the color, and one that has everlasting life, to determine we're building these products the best way I know how. I'm not cutting a corner. I'm not going to cheap out in every angle. I'm going to use the best solvents, the best resins, the best pigments. And that's where it all began. You know, just building the best for me. It was such an excitement for me to purchase this building when I got it, because I thought I would never outgrow this building. I came from a little 3-stall garage where I was painting motorcycles. And how I really got my start was basically the Honda motorcycle. When they came in here, you could get them any color you wanted as long as it was mouse gray. And so I said to my friend, Kenny DeGonda, he had a Honda shop up the block, and we called him Honda DeGonda. And I said, Kenny, one of them bikes you're taking out of the crate, why don't you give me the sheet metal off that bike one time and let me just have it for a day? I brought it back candy apple red and set it on his show floor. And I don't think it was on the floor half an hour and it was sold. And so needless to say, the other Honda dealers heard about it, and all of a sudden I was doing 600, 700 sets of motorcycle parts over the winter months. I've got pictures over here on the wall. I'll show you this shop just lined with motorcycle parts. So that gave me the thrust, you know. And then, of course, I was looking for better ways. I bought paint from other companies. I was dissatisfied. I thought, why does it take so many coats of candy to get the coverage? Why can't they put more of the additive in there that's necessary to make this happen so I don't have to work so hard? And you know, I knew that they were all about, and I met a chemist one day by accident, and I just said, hey, why is it this way? He says, it's all based on cost. It's all based on cost, you know. So I thought, well, what if somebody didn't care what it cost to do something really right? So that was the beginning. I would like to be remembered for just quality, trying to do things right, and trying to teach others, you know. I mean, it was one thing to make the money and have the company and all that, but I think my real joy is in sharing the knowledge. When I first started painting, there was a couple guys that I looked up to, and I went and asked them for information. They lied to me. Flat lied to you know, because they didn't want the competition. And so my whole thing is about truth, right? And I mean, you may not want to hear it. You may not like what I have to say, but in my heart, I'm telling you what I think is true.